Welcome! Today, we are going to explore one of the most powerful arguments for faith you'll find anywhere, and it comes to us from the Quran. It's a case that's not built on blind belief, but on some seriously sharp logic and, what's really beautiful, deep humility, all laid out by the Prophet Ibrahim.
So let me ask you this. How do you even begin to challenge an idea that's been around for centuries? An idea that people accept just because, well, that's what their parents and grandparents believed. This was the exact situation Prophet Ibrahim found himself in, and his approach, it's just a masterclass in how to make a reasoned, powerful argument.
So, the whole confrontation kicks off with Ibrahim questioning the very foundation of his people's beliefs, which was basically just tradition. But check out his tactic. He doesn't come out swinging with accusations. Nope, he starts with a simple, disarming question.
Now, on the surface, this sounds pretty simple, right? But it's actually incredibly powerful. What he's really asking is, so you worship these things just because your ancestors did? Is that it? Is that the only reason you've got? He's gently forcing them to look at their own blind acceptance of these inherited traditions.
And you have to understand, this wasn't just some casual question. This was a brilliant strategic move. He's flipping the script, you know? He's shifting the burden of proof onto them, basically saying, hey, tradition by itself isn't evidence. And just like that, he sets the stage for discussion based on reason, not just on, this is how we've always done it.
So after planting that little seed of doubt, Ibrahim doesn't even wait around for an answer. He immediately, and I mean immediately, draws a line in the sand. He makes a clear, decisive statement about where he stands.
Whoa, he calls the idols enemies. Think about that. How can a chunk of stone be an enemy? Well, it's because they represent a source of misguidance. They're like a spiritual dead end, leading people away from the truth. And right away, he contrasts that with his one true protector, the Lord of all the worlds.
And look at this. The choice he's laying out couldn't be any clearer. On one side, you've got these idols, which he frames as enemies, sources of misguidance, things that are just false. And on the other side, the Lord of the worlds, the only protector, the source of all truth, the only one who is actually worthy of worship. In his mind, there is absolutely no middle ground here.
You know, this powerful act of drawing a line and separating from falsehood, it actually has a specific name in Islamic theology. It's called bara'ah. And it's so much more than just disagreeing. It's a complete, total, conscious break from a belief system that he has concluded is just not rational.
Okay, so Ibrahim has declared what he rejects and what he accepts. But now comes the really brilliant part. He starts to build his logical case for why. He lays out a series of attributes, one by one, that can only belong to the Lord of the worlds, making his argument pretty much undeniable from a rational standpoint.
He starts right at the beginning, creation itself. He connects the act of being created directly with the one who provides guidance. The logic here is so powerful, and it's an implicit challenge, isn't it? Can a lifeless idol, something that didn't create you, possibly guide you? Of course not. The answer is obvious.
Then he brings it from the cosmic right down to earth, to the everyday things they can all see and feel. Sustenance. He's pointing to the very food and water that's keeping them alive. And again, it's another rational challenge. Who is the real provider here? An inanimate object? Or the Lord who designed and governs the entire natural world?
And this next part, this is where you really see his humility. Notice the exact phrasing he uses. He says, when I am ill, taking ownership of the state of being sick himself. But then he says, it is he who cures me, giving all the credit and power for healing to God. It's just a beautiful acknowledgement of our own fragility and God's power.
And finally, he gets to the ultimate attribute, the one thing no one and nothing else can ever claim: absolute power over life, death, and resurrection. And with that, he's systematically built his case. From creation to food to healing, all the way to the afterlife. All power logically rests with one single being.
But then, right as his logical argument hits this incredible crescendo, something amazing happens. The whole tone completely shifts. Ibrahim the debater becomes Ibrahim the humble servant. He's no longer speaking to his people, he's now speaking directly to his Lord. So after building this absolutely flawless, logical case for God, he doesn't express certainty or any sense of entitlement. He expresses hope, an aspiration for forgiveness. This is so profound. It shows that his faith isn't built on intellectual arrogance at all, but on a complete and total reliance on God's mercy.
And the actual Arabic word he uses here, arju, is so important. It means more than just hope. It's this deep, earnest, and really humble desire. It perfectly captures the balance he represents, a mind with a firm, rational conviction paired with a heart that is soft and humble.
All right, so let's pull all this together. What can we really take away from this incredible declaration? Well, Ibrahim has basically given us a timeless blueprint for a faith that is both intellectually solid and spiritually deep.
First, and this is huge, it shows that faith can be built on a logical foundation. It doesn't have to be a leap in the dark. It also teaches us how vital it is to question the beliefs we inherit, instead of just accepting them blindly. He defines the core of monotheism, Tawhid, through pure reason, by identifying God's exclusive attributes. And maybe the most important lesson of all, he shows us that even the strongest intellectual conviction is incomplete without a deep sense of humility.
So in the end, this story isn't about a blind leap of faith. It's about arriving at a destination through careful, reasoned thought. Which leaves us with a final question to think about. What does this incredible model from Prophet Ibrahim tell us about the ideal relationship between our own intellect and our spiritual beliefs? Thank you so much for joining us.